Hello! I took a day off yesterday. It feels so strange to play like 9 days or whatever it was of Broken Arrow in a row and then not play Broken Arrow for a day. It's like the phantom pain of not microing infantry or something. I want to do something weird today. I know I start some days saying that and then sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do with like decks, but I want to... Well, Caravel may have first asked, speak of what is best in life. Eating eggs. I'm eating like 6 of them right now. I want to play Artillery Focus. I'm going to explain why. Much like when I had the Barbarous... Much like I had that Barbarous match and I set up like a Barbarous practice range to test on that turned into everything else on my Central Village editor. I've been thinking about that last push I made, like the last match I played, this one. And you can see I've started this up like an editor scenario that kind of simulates it. I think one thing that's very cool about having the editor like this is I can go into a situation in Broken Arrow in a multiplayer match and maybe not feel like I did the best there, and I can basically just replicate it very, very closely. I can't give them the same kind of micro a human does, but in a lot of situations, like with the Barbarouses, I can just replicate the way they were driving around. Or here, I mean, this player I played against in that last match, they didn't really move around much of the infantry, they were just speed bumps, and I didn't deal with them very well. And so I ended up taking my time here and really being not as effective, and I was slower than I liked. Prof Pessimist says, want to play Arty Focus, join over 90% of solo queue. Yes, now let me tell you why. So I don't want to play Arty Focus to play Arty Focus, specifically, because yes, everyone does it in the solo queue, and I just know, it's one of the reasons I haven't been doing much artillery, because I know that if I do a bunch of artillery, what's going to happen is the rest of my team, a lot of the time, will also play very heavy on artillery in those bad matches, and then, you know, I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm just a totally useless player. I have a plan to get around that. But the reason, first of all, the fundamental reason I want to play more focused on artillery, I'll start from in summary, it's because I'm not good at artillery. I've gotten used to, like... Ooh, fuck. Just hide for a sec. I've gotten used to, like, calling in my 3 howitzers or my 2 mortars and, like, using them for smoke and shelling things, which is good. But specifically, I have not been doing counter-artillery, like, much at all. I haven't been spending the mental focus on it, I haven't been good at it. And I've been noticing this as a problem, because then it comes back to this scenario. In this scenario, what scared me, and what scares me a lot when I'm making pushes, is sitting still, because I know I'm going to get artillery if I sit still for too long. Now, one of the things I can do... That's awesome, Euchre, well done. When Jimmy Bob says, ask anything, how do I get a girlfriend? By being, like... working on yourself and being like a nice and caring and good person who cares about others and about your prospective partner as much as you can. I'm always worried about the artillery, and I'm not really spending the time to counter artillery. And there are ways I can get around being artillery, like only sending in a few people at a time, which I think I'll do more when I do pushes today, is I'll try to not send in as many units at once, but start sending in units earlier, because as we saw with this push, it took a while. It was good that I didn't send everyone in at once, but that meant it took longer than going in all at once. But I'm still worried about clustering, because if you send in some units, they just get howitzers the whole time, and you can't stop the howitzers, then it's just really hard to push with infantry. I can just play vehicles more, obviously, because vehicles are much more resilient to howitzers. You still have the dodge rocket arty, but that's easier if you stay on the move, and airstrikes, but But I'm an infantry guy at heart. I want to play more infantry pushing into towns. And so... even though it's more complicated, part of that is dealing with artillery. And that is why I want to do some artillery focus today. Because I'm not familiar enough, especially with rocket arty, to be doing counter battery. I need to be doing that. So what I want to do is a style where I'm doing tons of counter battery rocket artillery. And maybe even other stuff like cruise missiles. And maybe seed combined with that. Dr. Deep says, Rose your phone when you already never have already seen in woods. Yes, yeah. So... I don't want to just be an arty player, though, because the result of that, as pointed out, will be, you know, potentially uselessness. So what I want to do is I want to do a combination of cheap, like, infantry defense in a town and, like, cheap vehicles, holding either a neutral or a natural point, whatever I'm kind of allowed to have, so that I'm baseline being useful, even if I'm not being the most useful, perhaps, because I'm not pushing. And then I want to focus on the artillery with most of my micro. So it's the passive dig in, defend, and then use artillery style that we see a lot of people doing, but I haven't been doing much of. I want to do it not because I prefer the style, but because I need to start learning artillery. I think artillery and helicopters at this point are the two big things that I'm not good enough with. I've played tanks, I've played vehicles, light vehicles, I've played infantry, I've played recon. I played a bit of helicopters, but I could still use a bit more experience there, and I just haven't been focusing on artillery. So, my plan is to build a deck that definitely has SOF in it, and maybe has airborne. I don't know if airborne will have enough support. The problem is if I want to play... I mean, I'd like to have SOF. The problem is if I want to play artillery heavy, I need to have a lot of support points, and SOF hasn't, like, none. So I don't know if I actually can play SOF, but I want to combine not just a good defensive line of infantry that's cheap, but I also want to combine, I want to combine, good recon. I can play Marines. Marines also has good recon. Because the other part of my plan here is that I'm not under the impression that I'm just going to roll up with, like, a whole bunch of rocket artillery and just be able to counter battery. I need to see the artillery first. I can try to do howitzer counter battery, but I think in general, if your enemy is on the spot with their shoot and scoot, the only two ways to get a player who's shoot and scooting properly with artillery to counter battery them is going to be either knowing where the artillery is before it fires so you can hit it, which requires recon, or cruise missiles. So the other thing I can do is build a deck that has a bunch of cruise missile platforms in it, like F-117 Nighthawks and F-15Xs and stuff. But basically, long-range fire support. You should try Marine Striker. Yeah, Marine Striker has 2 lots of recon, that's true. And snipers. I wanted to play SOF because I want to play the fighting recon style, which would be great for behind-the-lines stuff. I want to actually try to play SOF behind the lines. But if I do that, I know the problem's going to be I want enough support points. Let me show you something curious about here, by the way. I can see these units right now, right? Which is interesting. But back off. This is obvious when you see it, but I didn't think about it. Let me just, like, lose sight on everything, or on the infantry. Okay, then come back. Like, this is such an obvious thing, but I just didn't think of it. Get in that thing. Also, notice how stealthy infantry and recon are even in the open. I haven't been playing enough infantry in the open. I've been scared to just move them. I think they only exist if they're in a transport, a building, or a forest. Truth is, infantry stealth is actually crazy. If the enemy doesn't have recon watching you, for instance, I can be here, and it's like, I'm so close to this vehicle, and it can't see these snipers at all.
Let's hide in that building.
What's up? I'm trying to play a new style today is what's up. So let's put all the snipers back in place. See how we can't see the infantry anymore? You can see that one. Because we're not close enough to spot them in their cover. But if I fly a drone over the top... It's gonna die to stingers. But see how we keep eyes on all of that shit? And if they were to move without breaking laws, if they moved from this building to that building, I'd still see them. I think. I don't know if they go in there and disappear, if I might lose sight of them or not. I'm not sure how that works. But, I don't know, this is really obvious, but I never thought of it. Is that the combination of not just a drone and not just sniper recon on an area, but a combination of both is the way to go, right? Because, obviously, once you have a unit spotted, you can keep eyes on it with the total optics range you have, right? But until you've spotted the unit, the snipers don't know it's there. But once they know it's there, until that unit breaks line of sight, or, you know, walks out of the range of the optics, that's pretty far. Why you still see it? Exactly, because if you get a unit spotted, you keep knowing the unit's in there. If we reveal that there's infantry in this building, the snipers now know, oh, there's guys in that building, right? They couldn't spot them through the camouflage before, but the camouflage is no longer a factor because they've been revealed. So the combination of having your good recon in place, and they can't see the guys in the buildings already, but then you send in the drone tells you that the guys are there, and now that you know they're there, the sniper keeps eyes on them, is something that I didn't think of before. It's very obvious mechanically when you see it and you think about it, but it's something that I should probably think of more now, is get, like, for example, on this point, get your snipers in place up here on the tree line, then send the drone in, and then I don't have to do the thing where it's like, oh, mark where they all are, because as long as the enemy doesn't move everything, you're good. Of course, the enemy, if they're good, will probably move after they've been droned, like I try to do. But even if they go from, like, house to house, I imagine I'll get to keep sight on them. It might be that when they get to the buildings, they disappear. It just depends how it handles going from outside to inside there if I lose sight on them. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to build a deck that can have a lot of good recon, especially recon vehicles, which is why I want to play airborne as well. So instead of SOF, I might do airborne. They don't have a lot of good foot recon, though. We'll see. I have to look at what combos I can do for a good amount of support points, and I need rocket arties. So I feel like armored is also something I want to play. Just doesn't have the other things I want, but it has double rocket launchers. If I go striker, I'd only have the HIMARS. Everyone should support. I know, that's the problem here. It's combining the kind of recon tab I want with the kind of artillery tab I want with the points budget I want. Marines has great recon, but has no support options I want for this. Crab says they should have a draw tool and icons so you could draw on a map and figure out patterns of their already stuff. I wish. I would love that. I would love permanent markers, just for myself. Philip says airborne striker is my preferred support option. Yeah. Everyone has great air though, which is great for air support. Yeah, I might be able to do like cruise missile fexes. Marine plus striker. So Marine plus striker doesn't have a lot of rocket arty, and I'd like to focus on rocket arty, which means I have to go armored. And I think then you're either comboing armored with Marines, airborne, or SOF to try and get the outcome you want. SOF would be ideal for the cruise missile platforms in the Nighthawks and in the fighting recon, but the support tab budget is very small there for who's the what's it thingy words bringing the rocket launchers. Your entire support tab would basically just be like four MLRSs. Marines, we do still have good foot recon, but I think we have labs, I guess, as well for vehicle recon. We have no cruise missile platforms. No, we have F-18s for cruise missile platforms. Probably just gonna try them. Ideally, I want to do armor and this, so let's see. The first thing has to be the rocket launchers, no matter what. 2 Gimler's cluster. There's even a strategy here I could try where I go the ballistic missiles and try to overload the enemy AA net, because a part of this, if I'm going to be focusing on counter battery on enemy artillery, I should also try to take out AA. Goes hand in hand. Foreman says cruise missiles kind of weak if you don't bomb frontline. Yeah, I want to try to. I want to see if it's possible to do like a style where we're overloading the enemy AA net on purpose, but it probably costs a lot. Thanks, Barley. That's good to know. So maybe high explosive MLRS combined with... I feel dirty just taking this much rocket arty. I feel like it's like a newbie strat or something, but I know it isn't. I know it can be effective as long as I hold a zone as well. Rocket arty is very strong. Everyone's doing it for a reason. It is very strong. Let's say 2 MLRS, 2 cluster Gimlers. I kind of wish I could do it the other way around so I could laser designate the HE rounds in on buildings with the Gimlers. This is laser, right? Yeah, you can laser these, but you can't laser these. I mean, HE is still fine for counter battery, right? Like, I could do the Gimlers with the laser, because then I can absolutely delete infantry and buildings as well. Easily. It's so easy with a laser. I just have to... And then you could use the cluster on tank groups closer to the front line. Just Computer says, I legit just built a deck like this and did HE Gimlers with cluster paladins. Did you do Iron Thunders? Because they have really long range too, right? What's the Iron Thunder's range if you go Iron Thunder? It's 5,000, so like... Instead of the second MLRS, I could go Iron Thunder. But then you do have to go cluster on the Gimlers. But it is an option. Philip says, if your main goal is counter battery, I think Iron Thunders would work better than the MLRS. Forman says, I don't know how to tell you, but it won't work. Well, tell me then. Tell me why. Tell me what you mean. I thought it was aim faster. Yeah. If I can't get recon on the back line, that's a better counter battery option than the MLRS, though this, at this point, like, isn't really for counter batteries much. Also, I feel like I wouldn't feel too bad about driving Iron Thunders pretty close up to the front. They're pretty damn expensive, though, for that extra 1,000 range. Well, 1,200 range you're getting over the Paladin. But that is a lot of extra range. It's quite a bit. You just will not counter battery smart player at all. And that's, I don't know if you're here before, but what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to get one of two things in to deal with smart players. I'm trying to either get enough recon into the enemy's backline that I can shoot them before they fire, or I'm trying to use loitering cruise missiles to take them out. Because you know how the Russians do the Hilo Katran stuff? I'm thinking that I can do something similar, not as good, but similar if I have like cheap Nighthawks with cruise missiles or something like that. Philip says, Iron Thunder is also great when you want to blow up a singular ammo dump without wasting a rocket volley. Yeah, true. Blob says, MLRS can give you a lot more control over front lines though, yes. How many of... Can I fit two? No. It'd be nice if I could have fit two of them. Then I could have had 222. And you'd do Hilo Logistics behind the lines. No trucks here. No trucks in this combo, and really no cheap... Oh no, there is cheap line infantry for holding the point. But no supply trucks to rearm the infantry on the point will be tough. Joshua Deep says, I'm curious if this will work. So far I had not good experience with counter battery. Yeah, me neither, and that's why I want to focus on the style. Because so far I've done it a little bit and been like, that didn't work, and just focus on the rest of the game. I think I might lose some matches doing it, but I want to try it because... Like, the enemy's running rampant with Rocket Arty. Rocket Arty is so strong, especially if you're facing Russia right now. You're just constantly getting bombed, and I want to see what I can do about it. I don't know if a single Iron Thunder is worth running that zone. I think you would instead at this point bring in the supply gremlins. And then we don't have any... Oh, we do have Shorad. I could bring some, like, linebackers to cover the rocket area. Prof says HIMARS aren't so bad if you live in full salvo. Maybe that's the way to go, just straight out. I think if we're forced to go to Striker, then that's what we do instead. Yeah, we try the HIMARSes. Because you're right, HIMARS could definitely do the job as well. Tanzilla says, I think trying to play a flanking backlining focus of already sounds like a good way to really annoy the enemy. So I don't want to do flank attacks though, because I want to actually focus on the artillery. And that's the thing about this concept. Mentally... I need to put 90% of my focus into the artillery. Because that's something I don't do. I've been using artillery as a hotkey that I call in sometimes, like an airstrike, but I'm not focusing them. The weird thing here is I want to try to actually play a style where everything else I'm doing is very static. So I have static infantry holding a town just to be baseline useful to my team. I have recons that are hopefully put into place in phase 1, and if I get away with that, they sit still and give information. And then just focus all of my attention on microing the artillery and making maximum value out of it. That's kind of my goal. Which is why going double-stacked Rocket Arty might not be the best idea. Because it takes so long to reload in between salvos, but... Like, maybe it is better to go Iron Thunders instead there. But then I lack Cluster for killing armor. Penalty switches for Silent Hawks? Yeah, that too. Let's go one set of rockets. And Cluster is better for counter battery than HE, right? It's always better against vehicles no matter what, I think. So let's say we do go Cluster Gimlers, and then we go Iron Thunders? Or I run 3 Pallies and 2 Mortars. Probably start with the 3 Iron Thunders at first and see if I value the Iron Thundering. And if not, we can go to regular Paladins and then combine some Mortar Carriers. I don't think I want these ones. I think I'd want the Gavins. I hate that I call them that for short now. What is it for battery? No. That's after I'm, like, hopefully winning the artillery war. This is just to help focus on artillery for my team as well. You know what I mean? If they have low armor, then HE is better. Okay. So then it sounds like I actually want to stick to HE. Which even more means I want a cluster option. But I should just focus on the counter battery first. Cryam says, armor USMC and use the reserve marines for cheap point photo to get bombed. Yeah, also an option. I want to do testing, but I feel like the slat cage makes them really resilient to being artilleried as well, which is good. I want to do... That's another thing I want to test, but I've only got time to do so much at once, you know? But you could do this. You could do... You could even cut some of these, probably. Don't think I'd want to, but you could. Anyway, like, that's a reasonable looking tab. It's just you're not doing any vehicle play because you have no vehicle SHORAD. Full firepower deck. Yeah, it's something new for me, which is why I want to try it. Even if it doesn't work in matches, it'll be good to get experience trying to use Rocket Arty more, I think, as well. So these will be my main attention. I'll be focusing on the Gimlerses. And the Paladins. This is the main focus of this deck, is to be playing these two to maximum efficiency at all times, I think. I can go to cluster if I want. No, I know, yeah, I know. I know. If I cut the mortars, I can have Patriots, right? Or I can have Patriots. I can have one Patriot. Yeah, Stingers for AA, yes. Dust Computer says, this is my build, but with Cluster, Pally, and Linebacker instead of the mortars. And how do you find it? Because I'm about to try and do this style, DOS, so tell me about your experience of it. I could have one Patriot instead of the mortars, which, with my attention focused on these two, probably just focusing on the Paladin and whatever else is happening in my defensive line will be enough attention. So maybe we don't do the mortars yet. That's probably a bit much. We bring one Patriot on its own in case the team deploys no AA. Boomer says, Cluster's amazing for counter battery with Sludge OE. Can you do any already on the move pretty often? That's good. Dust says, I played an hour in SP and it wasn't bad. That's not going to apply to you, sorry. Oh, yeah, that's okay. One Patriot, no anti-seed. Feels risky. No, that's just how I do it now with Patriots, because I did testing, and it's fine for the investment. It's pretty cost-effective, actually. Patriot can defend itself. A lot of the time. In testing, anyway. Haven't tested against Russian shit. But it seemed okay is the point, for 180 points. It's not useless, was the main discovery. Okay, I want the cruise missile Nighthawks, I think. 2 Jasms. They do get that bit more expensive, but it's still a pretty cheap deal to get 2 cruise missiles. And I think you want to have these things loiter. And then as soon as you see the enemy artillery... The main thing of this deck is changing my focus to actually be worrying about the enemy artillery. Because I never watch the fuckers. I'm always focusing everywhere but the enemy's line. So I'll have plenty to watch here because I'll be doing a lot of sitting around watching the enemy line, waiting for the artillery to pop off, and then I go at them. Can B2 get them too? Yeah, B2 can get Jasm. You can't fit that though. Is there an ALCM option? No. Okay, so you can't have both. You could have one Nighthawk and a B2. Depends how fast the Nighthawk comes back, I guess, compared to the B2. Nighthawk's probably going to be better. And then probably F-35s. Can F-35 do Jasm? Can do Cruise Missile. Can do double Cruise Missile for 350. No Seed this way. Air attacks, I may have to not do air attacks at this deck. This is a very specialized deck. That's what I'm going to try to do. And when we get top hats to put on the tanks, when mods get good. Owen says F-35A JDAM plus Stormbreaker is good for Andy Arty. Yeah, probably go with a more traditional F-35 build that has... Yeah, I could do JDAM, but I think the harms. It also lets me do just general air support, which is good. I can run 2 of the 2,000 pound bomb plus harm F-35, which I really like. I like this loadout a lot. That's not a terrible looking air tab. Like, not a lot of air strikes, but enough to hopefully be useful. Again, if these things loiter, they can get in and get a strike really quickly. Stormbreakers are precision munitions. Use them like JDAM's Doomhammer. F-35 can pretend to do air attacks. Yeah, I can send in an F-35 to help out a little bit. I can cycle them in the first phase if needed. Okay, everything else, we want all the stealth options. Like, I'd probably try to do some already hunting Comanches. Like, get really crazy. No, it's not air tax evasion, Logos. No, but it is a way to help out the tax. It's painful air tax, but it can help. Need some anti-helo and you helo test, so sure, yep. 8 stingers, 2 hellfires, and the radar. Is what I'm gonna run. And then these can't come with daggers, and they can come with daggers, but not many. Is dagger that much better than? It's not APKWS, is it? It's something different. What is the difference between them? Dagger is 3.5 damage. Is it just APKWS? Is that all it is? Yeah, it's the same rocket. It's just APKWS, but you get less of them. It's not like a big rocket or anything. That sucks. Okay. Then yeah, I don't want to go 8 daggers. I want to go stingers and hellfires. Need a cargo heli. Yep. Yeah, I'm getting there. A little bit at a time. I'm getting there. We barely built the deck yet. Piece at a time. Kegs. Maybe not just the Gatling kegs. Maybe like a couple of hellfires or something. To try and go on cheeky little runs. I want to try to be more aggressive of helicopters with this deck. Like, go hunting their backline. Like, send in a keg of a couple of hellfires and some gals. I won't try to do AA with Stinger, but just go in and see what I can sneak like this. They're still pretty cheap at 65, honestly. I think a hellfire one-shot's like any backline piece, right? Like, 15 damage of that pen. I think it's just going to one-shot any arty it does catch. It's a bit suicidal, but it's got good stealth. Same with the Comanche. So we can try and probe with these things. And then I'm going to need lots of Blackhawks. Maybe just go all Blackhawks that are only... Can I fit a Chinook? I can fit a Chinook too. Okay, that's good. I don't have a helo gunship, but I do not think I'll have time to micro a helo gunship while I'm handling all the other shit. Crime says Russia has a way better support and vehicle tab, in my opinion, so it's an uphill battle. Oh, of course, like, they do have a lot of arty. Have you played any Arbitrates and Dark Tide yet, people? Sadly, no, I've just been busy with this. These are my probers. We're gonna probe and be annoying with Special Forces helicopter shit, hopefully. Yeah, still a decent amount of hellfires for emergency. Yes, even though I don't have the Guardian for generalist gunship power, I will have the keg so I can call in, you know, a Guardian's worth of hellfires if I need to. Just spread amongst 4 little birds. I'm gonna lose a lot of helicopters doing this, but I have to be willing to lose them. You know, I have to go, okay, that's fine, that's just how this is. These are my units I have to be cheeky with. Vehicle, I want to keep it cheap. I don't even know if I take the big tanks of this deck, because I won't have time to micro them, done right. I'm trying not to be a generalist here, I'm trying to be very specific. So I think I want, like, the cheap trapdoor toes. I'll come back to that vehicle tab later. This is where I also want to put a lot of investment, which is recon. So I want to do, like, actual behind-the-lines recon. The best anti-helo for that is going to be Green Berets, Punishers, and Woods, I think. I think the Punisher can kill a helicopter pretty quick if they fly on top of them. I've got to account for a couple of things. One, I've got to account for drones. So obviously max out SCT, which I would do anyway. I've got to account for fast vehicles catching me in the woods. Rangers recon. And I got to account for helicopters flying directly on top of me. These teams can probably handle that with losses. But like a Stinger won't probably kill fast enough when they're directly above you, but I think GB's Punishers might. Also, they're the highest stealth units, so that's good. I need snipers. Maybe even AT-4 snipers. They're pretty expensive. But they could fuck off a vehicle that's chasing them. Green Berets can solo a helicopter. I've done it twice now. This is Tonzilla. Yeah. So GB Punishers is good for that. There's also GB snipers. Which could probably also kill a helicopter. I should test how quickly with all those guns. Someone says, is 2x HE rocket only plus 3x HE tubes doubling too much on HE power? Kind of, but I just want to try it. I don't really want to worry about enemy armored groups so much of this deck. I want to worry about counter battery. First. We'll go to cluster if we feel we really need it, but I think it's going to be a struggle for me to learn this style in the first place. Cameron says GB Snipers also has lasers for artillery. Yeah, though I'm not doing Iron Thunders right now, but I do have Gimlers, yes. HE Gimlers. So lasers are... Hello. Lasers are definitely a thing. It also just cuts down on, like... I could have... I need to test that. I need to test it. I want to see specifically which recon teams handle a helicopter above them in the woods the best. Because that's the scenario that people will do to you when they realize you have a recon in the back lines, is they will drone you and then they will fly healers on top of you. I need to find the squads that are the best at saying fuck off when that happens. So that's... We're going to test Green Berets. I was like Proto Seals. Cute, they're amphibious. Green Berets. Rangers, Recon. Because Rangers Recon might be fine too of their rockets. Pararescue, which I think will do the worst because it's a Stinger. That's for long range. What else? That's like it, right? Cav Scouts isn't going to do it. What else? Recon Vehicles with M2s. What do you get in that combo? You get the MRAP. Oh, and GB Snipers as well. And Ranger Snipers, yeah. Welcome back from BA, thank you. Isn't it called the MRAP? I guess not. Hang on. Ranger Snipers. With the AT4s and not with the AT4s. GB Snipers. And GB Flash. I probably won't, but just check. Don't you make the SCT rather than Pararescue or the Stinger? Oh, didn't I? Yeah, they are. Just as an update here. How you doing, Oxygen? MATV. Right, thank you. MATV. MATV. And I want to try all the variants. Up armored, of course. But I want to try all the variants of the MATV. Well... Do they get the grenade launcher that can actually hit helicopters? I don't know. Not certain about that. If I want to be really annoying, I could put javelins on them too. But that's probably not what I want to do with them. Would be cool to have a javelin option, what I'm heading out here with though. May as well whack it on. Okay, so put all this over here and then make them neutral so they don't interfere. And then bring shit over one at a time. So which one is this? This is GB Snipers. Okay. Be on my team. And then give them... This is maybe unfair because this is... that really annoying helicopter. But two of the specs do get him, so you probably see it pretty often. This is like this is our worst case. So if we can handle the worst case, we can handle anything. So what we'll do is we'll give them a waypoint. To search and destroy, essentially. Aggressive, yeah. We'll have... Where's the STT? On my team. And then we'll have them with a drone, like Orion. What we'll do is the drone will fly over to waypoint 7. It will die. And then the helicopter will come in on aggro. Once they spot them. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Probably not, Alisaro. Not yet. I just love the game, having a lot of fun with it.
Joint strike fighter, at your command, sir.
It's the quickest way to test this, but at least the first time, let's see how it works this way. So I think it's about 2200 meters before the drone, like the top tier of drones actually spots you.
Don't shoot unless you're detected.
So you see how the STT isn't shooting yet because they haven't been spotted yet, I think? No, it's because they haven't fired on me. Okay. That's not working, they're not coming. Looks like it takes 2 stingers every time to kill, or 2 stingers every time to kill the drone. The helo isn't reacting though. Aren't you meant to come kill me once you know I'm there? Is it because you're a helicopter? Let's see.
Moving silent. Defensive smoke! Smoke screen!
Okay, I just have to give them a waypoint. They don't care. I don't have the time to figure that out right now. So, we can do the drone afterwards then.
On the move. Stealth mode. Advancing on target location. Smoke screen deployed!
Fucker comes over the top. Spots us at... Oh, we don't know because we opened fire. This is snipers. Okay, snipers is not really doing enough. I'd be dead by now, though, like... am I within your min-range or something? Why aren't you shooting me? Do you not have the right weapons? Do you not have rocket pods? Oh. Interesting. So the min-range of rocket pods is like 1,000 meters. Oh, sorry, 100 meters. That's very interesting.
DJ's here. Go ahead.
Yep, no problems with line of sight to Stinger team from that area as well. So that's interesting, but I don't think that's nearly enough performance. Let's try the grenade launcher. And I know this is the most armored one as well. I'm trying to keep that in mind. Don't think the flash will be any different. But if you bring in GB's Punishers, I feel like even with the higher armor, they'll still do well. I know they kill most enemy helicopters that don't have armor. Let's find out. Sorry, missiles, are you not rockets? Some of those are any infantry. It sure looked like rockets. I'll check the loadout after this. I don't think those were their missiles.
Green Berets, standing by.
I think because it's the armored one, it's having a lot of extra trouble there. Definitely kills it, but it takes a moment. For reference, let's try a easier helicopter as well. Like, what's the average helicopter of Russia? Is it the Hind, or is it like Mi-28s or something? Sorry, no, Mi-28s. Ka-52, my experience says semi? Okay, Ka-52. These are... Okay, 40 of those. Okay, so one of these as well. We could try all of them. In terms of what people spam, yeah. Ka-52 to 30 armor as well? What the fuck? Wait, really? Okay, so we need to deal with flying tanks in almost all cases. What's the fucking Hind, then? 20. Jesus Christ. The weakest Russian helicopter is America's most armored helicopter. Holy shit, this is why Stingers do so bad against them. Okay, let's just stick with the Mi-28 then, because the armor is going to be pretty similar. I mean, no... here, try a Hind. I just want to see how much better it might be against a Hind. Russia alert a few things in Afghanistan.
Copy. Infiltrating.
It's pretty similar performance, actually. Like, it'll do the work. It's good. Definitely have them on the grenade launcher loadout. But let's then, if we, like, really want to fuck these guys up, look at what we can do to really fuck them up. Try Rangers Recon. Because they have AT-4s. If they haven't fired them yet, in this situation, that should kick ass, right? They should just rocket them. And that should be like 2 of them.
Sneaking in.
Yeah. So the fastest is going to be Rangers Recon because these are basically flying tanks.
Sweeping the area.
The thing will be keeping the supplies up for these guys.
Advance
If only Ghost Hawk could do supply drops. Okay, we've lost ya. But here you are. Do you miss much? Bongo. Takes you out to line it up. But yeah. So Rangers Recon in the woods is fine anti-helo. Because they're not going to see me before they get there unless they have a drone up. But that's why you have the Stingers as well to handle that business. Can the Scarlet out? Yeah, I could. Just for the sake of argument, let's see them in the Scars loadout where they get the Maws. Icefire says, problem with AT4s is the 50-meter range against helos. Oh, it goes down to 50? So if they're not directly above me, I can't fire them? Well, range 150, okay. That's not bad. Like, I don't think the helo can shoot me unless they're within that range if it's in deep woods. Skyfever wins again. Was it much better? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the problem is if the helo stays there, I've got to sprint under them. So I've got to stay on the micro. It looks pretty similar time to kill to me. The scars are killing them, but the time to kill looks pretty similar to the CQB RRC. Am I wrong? Pessimist says, I think Green Berries are not worth. Snipers are better for recon and Rangers better everything else. That's like one rocket. Right, yeah. Does use less rockets and more helicopters, also true. I would just not have like a CQB infantry option. Which may be less of a problem when you, ironically, in the woods, because if they send enemy infantry against me, they're going to be quite slow. Come back over here. Thank you for your test run. What about Ranger Snipers with the AT4s? How does this work? And the Barrett. Boomer says, you probably put in Delta in this deck too, they can be CQB. Well, I wasn't going to send Delta into the woods. Oh god, fire another one, please. Yeah, the problem is if they get any rockets off on you, you're not going to kill fast enough. But if you're under them, yes, you can kill one helicopter with the AT4 loadout. But you're also going to die in, like, literally 2 volleys of rockets, so... It's really not ideal. I don't think I have a smoke grenade either. Which should be good for avoiding that situation. What about the MATV? How does this go? How does this matchup occur? Here, drop that, and let's just stick with one for now. This is with the Mark 19 and Javelin missile. First, I want to see if this is the anti-helo Mark 19. If not, we'll go to the M2. Well, it's part of the RD strategy, Philip, is the idea. That's the idea. These things are... No, this isn't the Ranger's grenade launcher going to shoot helicopters, so this will do nothing. Surprisingly long sight lines of the Barrett, though. I guess because you're high up because of the Jeep. No smoke, though, either. Die in 2 shots. And you get spotted way earlier, is the issue. So you won't get to get under them before they get the rockets off, and you'll just die. Have a look if the M2 machine gun can suppress and kill them quick enough.
Infiltrating.
Combat patrol underway. Armored transport standing by.
It may also be that I'm opening up and then revealing myself. Okay, so definitely don't shoot at first. This is a recon helicopter, so if I go stealth, can I get under it? Obviously good micro counters this, but can I get underneath you? Strider says, I find stacking snipers works best. Really? Stacked snipers. What is this deck? What specs? I'm trying to do SOF armored. I'm trying to find an artillery deck.
Good copy. Next waypoint received.
It's... yeah, it's not really going to work, because you can get ATGM'd as well. Okay. So the MATV is also not really our saving grace there. Hasn't really got the stealth. Is there any value in bringing a straight-up SOF squad, like someone was saying about Delta? What about Standoff Delta, actually? Someone said Delta before, and I was like, maybe not. But what about Standoff Delta as an anti-helicopter unit in the woods? They fucked my Osprey up. Do the Flyer GMV of minigun or autocannon? Yeah, also true. Then I have transports, also true. Ooh, Flyer of autocannon was a good idea. First off, just shoot as soon as possible, I guess. Oh! Nah. I mean, yeah. Okay, try holding fire until they're above you. We don't have as much stealth on Delta either, so they will get spotted easier.
Quietly. Moving. It's like a walk in the park.
Do you think you missed though? Yeah, but as long as it's reasonably accurate, it's okay.
Marching keeps us fit.
I should have them flying over me, not stopping on top of me, because that would make it harder.
Engage as a last resort.
Ooh, I put them on hold fire. And the Fletcher can't fire at close range, so that's kind of an anti-synergy there, I guess. But I mean, even just your standard weapons can kill it. Is it infantry not recon? Yeah, but that's fine. I don't care about that. I mean, I care about the fact that they're not recon, but I don't care about otherwise. I don't care about otherwise. And get rid of them. Put the waypoint on top of them, because that's more realistic. Can I ask what reward about fighting helis like this? Because I'm trying to do backline recon. So I can play an artillery deck. That's the idea.
En route to target location. Don't shoot unless fired upon.
If they're on hold fire, okay, they're gonna go over the top of me. Ugh. Having multiple squads, obviously, in the woods will help this too. I don't want to cluster too much because I might get fucked up. The point is, these guys aren't really any better at it than Rangers Recon, unless they're using the Fletcher, which is what I wanted to see. Finally, what if it was just an STT? Not to reinvent the wheel here. But what if it was literally just an STT at close range with their stealth? Maybe it does actually work out just fine. If you can fire the Stinger at point blank. Could you hide from the healers? Yeah, but not for long. Not forever. Just Adams, I feel like if they find your recon of helis, it's just a dead unit anyways. So that's what I'm trying to challenge here. I'm trying to challenge that concept that once they find you, you're fucked.
All unknowns are hostiles. Roger, Charlie Mike.
Okay, maybe STT actually is the best. I fucked up their shit there with my hold firing.
Target location.
They've got like the good rifles too to do a little bit extra damage. You're fucked at that point, but I did fuck up their attack order. Let me try again. Flash revolt. Okay, we'll do that next. Why am I all SCTs? Because I'm trying to do like not the best case scenario for me.
We're not afraid of the distance.
The question here, chat, isn't how to kill a helicopter quickly by stacking a bunch of shit that kills helicopters. The question here is, what is my most optimal units to bring for anti-helicopter work?
On our way.
If it sits still, I guess keeping under is better.
Time for a walk.
There is a mid-range on the Stinger. You're not really going to kill it fast enough here, so sitting under it isn't really an option of the STTs. It takes too long.
Roger, time for a walk.
But there's probably a sweet spot where they can't rocket me, but I can Stinger them. No, there isn't. That is not a real sweet spot. Okay. The MG isn't shooting while moving. Oh, am I fucking it up because of that? The Guardian or the Knight, whatever it is, just out of the Knight, yeah. Okay, maybe I'm fucking it up because the AMG isn't shooting. You're right. Let's hold. The cool thing of their stealth is I think they can fire the Stinger on the way and not even get revealed, which is very impressive against the recon helo. Okay, let's sit still so we use the machine gun. The problem is if you sit still, you're not really getting much more. But that is the best kill we've seen so far. Because it looks like if they leave the minimum range of the Stinger, they have the same minimum range for their rockets. They get another Stinger off before the suppressed helo hits me. So maybe just sitting still and holding your ground against helos of SCT is like the win-win. Wouldn't the recon be on the edge of the forest? No, this is for deep forest. If it was on the edge of the forest, you just use Stingers. It's like a solved problem. This is for the specific situation of you're in the middle of a forest and they send helicopters to get you. That's specifically what we're testing here, nothing else. We're just testing if you're in the middle of a forest and a helicopter is put on top of you, because that's a thing people do, how do you kill it? So I like Sammy's suggestions. Let's try those transport options, because they could also deliver the guys around. How do you plan to resupply them? I don't, really. Yeah, I'm not trying to send a bunch of units into the backline and then fight helicopters all game long. I'm trying to send a bunch of recon into the backline that ideally is stealthy, but this is our contingency of when the enemy realizes we're there and sends helicopters to kill us. To say again for those coming in, the goal here is to build an artillery deck that can rocket enemy artillery, enabled by me having recon on their backline that doesn't get killed by helicopters instantly. Like I says, two of these guys together seems pretty ideal for this case. Yeah, actually, let's just... As someone said, it is a simple option, but if we have two STTs together, do they just, like, stop these fuckers before they can react?
Special tactics team ready. Airmen on the ground.
No, we didn't play, we're just doing test runs for them. The problem is the Stingers can miss, but they don't see it till they get too close. You still really need the stingers to finish them, but if they try to stop on top of you, you kill them. If they try to go over you, you'll stinger them again, I think. Also, you could do the combo that I actually want to do anyway, which is RRC. RRC plus STT, which I want to keep together anyway. And that probably kills them far and kills them close. I don't know, Jeff Bronx. That's a good question. I want to keep these guys together anyway because they're the perfect combo for this and other reasons. Softens them up. They fly over the top. AT4? There's a slight mid range on AT4, but yeah. Similar performance to 2 STTs in that regard. And if the healer doesn't get close enough, I think you're fine with 1 STT. Okay, and then what if we do... I just can't resist. I have to test now with the standoff rangers as well. Hang on.
We move in silence.
Stealth jet ready.
Does the Moors change this equation at all? Probably also being a bit spread out from each other is better.
The Air Force is on the ground.
We don't get the Moors out any faster. Maybe we do there, though. And it does one-shot at that point. So if the Stinger kind of missed, then the Moors is superior there for, like, finishing the fucker off in one blow. So if I don't suffer a lot of enemy infantry doing this recon backlines shit, then Rangers Recon standoff does actually look pretty good for that specific thing. But also, if I spread out a bit, if I have the recon, like, oblique to the helo, SCT Green Brain Punishers, yeah, we can try that combo too.
Infiltrating.
You want to come a bit closer.
And destroy.
Smoke screen.
Move to contact.
It's like such a fine line between out of range for the AT-4 and too close for the AT-4. And that helicopter there got into the similarly fine line of within mid-range of Stinger, but out of max range. Of, or out of the min-range of their own rockets. What is the min-range of this damn thing against helicopters? Philip says, I think stacking units better purely to make the enemy think they dealt with the issue. I mean, that's one way to look at it. You can't look at detailed there, so you can't see the breakdown. Okay. Rangers RC, go back over here. Bring the Punisher GBs back. So far, Rangers Recon and SCT are just a good combo on top of each other. This will just bring in heavy response, but that's fine. That's also fine. As long as I'm not over-investing in what I'm using to kill it, because this is stuff I'm sending anyways, it's fine if I make the enemy fuck around chasing me in the woods, and perhaps it's even better in some situations. You know what I mean? Because this is a very annoying thing to deal with. I mean, GBs plus STT works well there too. Because I don't think the GB's Punishers have a min-range either. They don't have a min-range. I don't know what their low-out range is, but if you're telling me their low-out range is the helicopters at 600, then that's also really good. Why that loadout specifically, Icefire? Can GBs do that at 600 meters?
Infiltration underway. Special forces standing by.
J2 GBs. Yeah, double GB stack is also a thing.
Defend the smoke.
Okay, GBs can just do that really far. But they miss. Oh, hit. Yeah, I mean, they hit like 5 out of 6 of those. They're pretty good with that thing.
Battlefield Airmen at your command, sir.
Interesting. As the rush, let it send 80 times 30 armor healers at you. I'm not worried about rush, I'm worried about this. But yes, they might send that, yes. How different is that to what I'm using right now? I mean, right now, if the halo fires at me at all, I'm kind of counting that as a problem. So you're saying 2 times SA, 2 times S13. Street says, I wish I could get good at this game. I absolutely love the style of the game, and I can never seem to get the hang of it. Maybe I can help you out. What are your problems? Let's talk through them. Talk through them with me in my chat. I can probably help you. Shai says, they send that many healers for a group of 2 or 3 scouts, it's worth it. Yes, we're gonna lose people. We're gonna lose people on these kind of fighting. But the goal is to make these trades worth it. Basically to get a second response out of them. Whenever the enemy realizes you have recon on their backline, they're gonna send an immediate response of like drone and some helos, or drones and helos. If we can survive the first response and make them go, oh shit, that's really good. If we necessitate a second heavier response from them, that goes from it being a thoughtless send a drone and helicopter to kill that into, oh fuck, I have to actually pay attention to this. And as soon as we make them pay attention to us in the trees, we're winning focus, which is good. As well as just points investment. Okay, so let's look at transports now, because I do like this, but let's look at transports. Roxy says, who among these options is best at fighting off GRU that spent the last 20 minutes hiking through the woods? Rangers Recon. Rangers Recon, I think, could beat him in the woods. I'm practicing scenarios for deck building. Yes, Your Majesty, yeah. The editor's really good, McChaffey. It's incredibly good. Try the Flyer GMV. The Fletcher Warpig. And the Arsolv with the grenade launcher that kills helicopters. And try it versus the M2. I don't think the M2 was good enough. We saw that before. But now let's try transport options to go with these guys. Yeah, I'm labbing it out, yeah. Street says, honestly, I get the basics, but I don't fully understand the smaller micro concepts and or how to use different units for specific needs. That makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense. It's still kind of broad, but it makes sense. Oh my god, you need a Gal 19. Try the other cannon. It's kind of like sending labs too, though. So how to understand the smaller micro concepts and use different unit specific needs. What units are you playing with right now? Let's start there. What kind of units are you playing with where you maybe need some help with a micro? I want to try the minigun as well. I think that might even be better. So first, let's try the flyer with minigun. Oh, with water cannon, sorry. Yeah, you don't have the micro oxygen, that's true, because you might be busy elsewhere. That's very true.
Smoke deployed. Personal carrier here. Smoke screen deployed.
The other one fucks it. The other one fucks it. Also can kill light vehicles. This is basically like rolling around with a lab with less armor, I think, right? It's 10 points cheaper, but it doesn't have the optics. Ideally, I would be playing Marines then. But Marines SOF doesn't work here, and I want the SOF recon. So, without labs, Flyer GMV is the best we can do there, I guess. It is a little bit cheaper, it's also faster. It's also airdroppable, which may end up mattering. But way easier to kill. Is what it is. Okay, that was fine, but like if we hadn't suppressed the helo, it gets a bit dangerous there. What about the... Again, specifically for anti-helo, what about the minigun flyer? That's the Apache gun, not the Bradley gun. Oh, that's a big one then. Probably a better autocannon than the labs then. Does the Humvee REWS grenade launcher do helo? I don't think so, sadly. I feel like the autocannon was the same, and the autocannon gives me an option against light vehicles. I can roll the autocannons out to kill supply in a little run. Shrew says, I played a lot in beta, but not recently. I think I just need to learn how to use units to their specialities and what works best against certain enemy types. Yeah. The editor here, like I'm doing here, maybe this is the best tip I can give you then, is try shit out like this in the editor. It's really easy to use. Like, in this simple way, it's very simple to learn. Place units, set their mods up, and then give a waypoint. You can learn that in like 1 minute. If you're interested, I can literally show you now in 1 minute. And this is such a great way to like learn what works where. I constantly set up new scenarios to test situations I face literally in matches. I come here and test them, and as someone said, I lab it out. I figure out what works. Flyer GMV was good. With the autocannon, I think was the best so far, even though it's a bit expensive. What about the Rangers with the anti-helicopter grenade launcher? Let's see.
Stealth mode.
Arsolv is also like the fastest thing, so it'd be great as a transport option to bring. To stay fly. Yeah, I mean, that's good. When it stops firing, it's bad, but... very good damage until that point. The autocannon, I think, killed it faster overall, but the burst was much better on the Arsov, clearly. Definitely as competent a choice as you could ask for. And I think the price is similar, right? Or, like, maybe a bit better. Arsov is 45. So, yeah, it's 50. It's the same... No, it's... You were paying 60 for a Flyer GMB autocannon, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. Tanzilla, I said, oh, because I had 2 dragon teams hold an area against a decent assault early just because the weapon loadout's kind of silly. Yeah, dragons are good. I'm all about them now. His Majesty says, what sort of roles can a newbie fill in a multiplayer match that might be more forgiving and still useful? Support anti-air? Yeah, that's like the most stress-free way to learn. Beyond that, if you want to be like pushing and being useful, probably tanks is what I keep recommending. They're expensive to lose, but they're easier to play. Leica says, autocannon can clean up audio on its own, which is kind of appealing. Yeah. Maybe the Flyer GMV is the winner of this overall. Because it's 10 points more, but the autocannon is better. It's just better, I think. I think the Arsov is fine, but I'm feeling like the GMV autocannon is the best so far. But finally, let's try the Fletcher Guided Rockets Warpig. I'm not expecting great things out of this thing, but we only know by trying. Can a Blackhawk carry an Arsov? Yes, absolutely. Oxy says, do we need to test the hold fire scenario? I assume you'll be on hold fire by default. Maybe not in Deep Woods, but yeah, good idea to like check it out. To see without micro, like you said. That's a very good point, Oxygen. If we're not microing, how it plays out then. Oh, who is she? Oh, okay, so because the Delta standoff Fletcher didn't fire as fast, but the Warpig one like ripple fires. Oh, who is she? That's nice. What happens if it's solo Warpig versus helicopter? That was pretty exciting, actually. Yeah, the Stinger's doing different amount of damage per test. Yeah, it is. What's your weight? 10,000. So you could drop one of a Chinook. C-130 drops looking better and better of this deck. Unfortunately, there's a minimum range. If there wasn't a minimum range, easy clap. I mean, it's a very small minimum range, though. What happens if you overshoot? How are you testing this in the editor? In the main menu, you can find the editor in the play modes. What if it's an overfly situation? Fire stuff was a 4 thing? Oh, maybe that's it too. Yeah, the Warpig can carry 2 squads, but it's a cheaper option. I don't think it's got stealth though, something to consider. I think the terrain was worse for me there. And that's what I wanted to test there, is who fires first. In the quick draw match there, the Warpig loses a lot. I think having something of no min-range matters more there. This is why you gotta be careful of your options. So that is good. Maybe you bring a mix of both. But so far, I feel like the Flyer was the overall winner. Let's see now in the harder test here, where the helicopter flies over me. I think the Flyer was winning big. The Lav would be the ultimate winner, because Lav can smoke, too. Oh, you lose sight, and it's going to shoot you now. Maybe the Arsov is better because it has no min-range, I think. It's very different when you see it with an infantry squad on its own, and... Try the Arsov now, because the Arsov may not have as much min-range problems. It might be better.
Copy. We're moving in silence.
Yeah, ideally movers, but I'm still trying to find, like, I'm trying to test which is the best here. I'm not trying to see which is good enough. I'm trying to see which is the best vehicle. So far, if this fires again, quick draw, it's not going to quick draw. It is! Oh, okay, so Arsov's the winner, I think. Because you see that there. Arsov is the winner. Because without the min-range troubles and with the quick aim time and the grenade launcher, that is the fastest thing in a flyover situation. So Arsov actually the winner. Worse... against other things, perhaps, like this autocannon has 1,000 meters to pop out of a tree line and hit artillery. This only has 800. Still, this could also kill artillery, I think. It's the fastest vehicle, it's the cheapest. This is good if we want to have one transport with 2 people in it, but has problems with minimum range. Still though, 1,300 meters of range, so this could also snipe from the trees even better, probably on Artie. And also in a situation where I'm caught in the open, the Fletcher will be better, but in the open it's all about stingers, I think. Grenades against infantry, yes, can help in forest fights. Very interesting. Yeah, and has stealth as well. Warpick has stealth issues. So far I'm thinking Arsov is the main transport here, which is good because it's also the fastest and gives us a reason to use the Arsov, which is a cool car. So Arsov is very cool there. What else do I need to test here now? Like that's mainly it, right? That kind of answers the question of we just run our general recon teams with GB Punishers, Pararescue, Rangers Recon, and Arsovs, I think. We don't really love the MATV for anti-helo, but we could use it for poking out from the woods with javelins. We're going to use it anyway in a cheap scout car configuration, I think. Was there anything else here I said I was going to test against healers that I didn't? I think that really covers the majority of it, honestly. Is the battleship as useless as we thought? I never tried the battleship. This is strikers, but still, what if you... Bro, what if you had 3 M2 machine guns? For like 40 bucks.
Everything back.
Hi, Eagle. Hi, Sona. How are you?
Ken, Roger. We stop if we meet contact. Smoke screen.
Hey, battleship. How does this work? You use Arsov over Little Birds? It's a completely different use case. It's not as impressive as I would have hoped. I would have thought 3 M2s would have done better there. Oh, but Warpig's like, check me out though, Dad. But that magazine size problem really kills it. Whereas an Arsov would have got that kill, I think. Show me, Arsov! Okay. So far, I'm thinking our combo here is Pararescue plus Arsov. Now, I don't think I need to do really specific, like, anti-vehicle tests today. I could, but I'm not going to do it right now because I want to play a match. But I'm pretty sure Rangers Recon will be fine enough for any scout cars or light vehicles that get sent in after us. Keeping transports with us is really good. Can the Gremlin keep up at all? The problem with the SF armor combo is no, like, fast supplies. Yeah, it was kind of dumb, Sword. Okay. I think that's all the testing I really needed to do for right now, I guess. I think we can go back now. And finish building the deck, which was the original point. What's the use case? I missed it. Backline recon, defending ourselves from helicopters. And so far, Arsov, plus I think any infantry squad is like the big winner. Okay, so let's finish off that deck. Where is it? Here it is. So, Arsov. Arsov Gaming. Max Arsovs with the grenade launchers. Unfortunately, these guys can't bring it, but we can fill them up in the inventory tab. Safiel says, silly question. I've heard everyone saying Rangers Moors is good. Oh my god, Rangers Moors! Hang on. Wait. Wait, take me back. There's one more squad. I can't believe I didn't think of trying this. As a squad I'd won in the woods anyway. Oh my fucking god, Rangers Moors. Sorry, the rest of your question. Safiel, I've heard everyone saying that Rangers Moors are really good, but whenever I try to hold against armor pushes, it feels like they barely tickle full within seconds. Are they for a different usage case? So, you need to have a tanking unit with Rangers Moors. You either need to kill the enemy vehicle before it can react, which is... If it has APS, you probably need, like... You know, you need building cover, or you just need to, like... you know... You can't be doing that to a heavy tank from the front. But otherwise, you need a tank unit. So ideally, you have like a Rangers or a Marines, something stronger, a vehicle that takes the enemy's attention. Then you open up with the Rangers Moors. And ideally, with any vehicle bigger than like a BMP, like anything that's like a tank level armor, you are hitting it from the sides or the rear of the Moors, or the top if you're above them in a skyscraper. That would be the problem you're having, because they only have 6 guys, so they're DPS, they're not a tank. They can't tank. But if they even get like 4 or 5 seconds to work without being immediately suppressed and killed, they obliterate shit. So I'm sorry that we're back here, but I just cannot fucking believe I forgot to try Rangers Moors in this situation.
Rangers, ready for action.
Show me. Show me the power. Oh, no, you went with the fire. That's a faulty test. But yeah, Rangers Moors is like the most DPS infantry against infantry in the game, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, against armor in the game. But they have to be given a few seconds to work. What am I mistesting? Yeah, we're trying to make us... That's the wrong squad. We're trying to make a Special Forces backline deck with artillery, Camelith. I was about to finish making my deck and try to play, but then I saw something I wanted to try. I think the problem with Rangers Roars actually will be that like the helicopter will fly over them, and they'll run out of range, but we can see.
Stealth mode.
If they sit on top of you, it's definitely going to be good. Because they still... The problem is they still have that really shitty low out range that the Arsov doesn't have.
75th Ranger.
But if they sit on top of you, you're going to fucking eat them. For sure. And you have smoke. Yeah, you like, kind of don't get it off there.
Smoke screen.
That's your issue.
Shut up and let's go.
For poor Rangers Moors.
Contact and move out.
SOF and who? Then we're trying armored first. Otherwise, it'll have to be SOF and Striker. If... I mean, we know they'll kill it quickly if they're underneath it. That's fine. But I do want to see. I just want to see. I just want to see. I just want to watch the Roars kill them. Usually how you start your games in terms of unit, all over the place lately. Either a tank push that can work on its own,
Sweeping the area.
or some starting recon, or some patriots. It really depends what the team needs, what the map is a lot of the time.
Smoke screen deployed.
Because yeah, they fly over the top, and then you can't Roars. Oh, now you can. Oh, maybe it's not like a min-range issue. 2-shot, by the way. Very, very quick. Oh, because they don't really have a min-range issue at all. Oh, they have a 2-meter minimum range. What the fuck?
Special Forces here.
Sorry, what the fuck? You have 2-meter minimum range? What the devil? That's less than the AT-4s. Okay, so these are, if they sit on you, just kill them for free of this. No helicopter can beat Rangers Moors if they're sitting on top of them, it seems. Why didn't they shoot when they flew over them? Maybe because they were, like, turning around? Odd. Alright.
Infantry ready for combat.
Out we go. Let's keep building the deck. We'll want the Moors either way. But I don't want to put too many infantry here. Remember, the idea is also to, like, spend most of the points on that expensive arty later. So, back to the deck. So, Arsovs, Rangers, Snipers. I'm going to want a lot of Ghost Hawks here. I want a lot of Ghost Hawks, I think, and I'm going to try to be, like, adventurous with them. The Little Bird has a bit of stealth as well. Maybe Sword, maybe. We'll want Ghost Hawks and Little Birds, probably 4 Little Birds to be adventurous with the cheaper guys, so probably with the Green Berets. And then for the more expensive STTs... Ghost Hawks. Yacht says, if I drive up to it with a tank at point blank range, will it shoot? With those guys, apparently, yes. Probably want a drone of my own, if not 2 of them. And then we will want cheap scout cars for... Send us up to it. We will want cheap scout cars for map control, always. I can max out on Ranger Snipers, perhaps. That's how much money? That's 400. Let's call it, like, 1,000 between all these guys easily, if not 1,200. They can handle themselves, but then you include the transports as well. You probably don't need that many snipers. Unless you're pushing the front line too. I guess you push the front line with snipers of recon if your goal is to be very recon heavy. And the back lines of these guys. And he says, why not have Warpigs and grenade launchers so we can carry more if you need for more cost effectiveness? Less stealth, but also, can it get the Ranger one? Yeah, you can get the Ranger one. So that's also true. Instead of Arsov with GL, you can go Warpig with GL. It is slower. And I kind of want to spread my transports out more, I think. But yes, also an option. Also an option. Anyway, I need cheap scout cars. So probably the GL on the MATV for fighting through forests against enemy recon. That's a lot of recon. That's a lot of recon right there, because I gotta send jeeps as well. Gotta remember to do that. We're probably gonna cut that down later. That's probably too much shit. But for now, that's the start. We can cut later. And then... Infantry tab. These guys have 2 of them, so they would also fuck up a helicopter really quickly, probably. But I don't want to send, like, a whole battalion of rangers to, like, fight in the woods. I want to keep my costs low and send dual-purpose units that can fight together with not many of them at once. That's why I wouldn't send, I think, a Rangers GL on their own. I just send the RSOP instead. Raws, though, is definitely, like, you gotta have Raws. Raws is so good. And we can bring more RSOPs with them. Is the up armor worth it on the MATV from your experience? I haven't used them much yet to tell, but on paper it should be. Whatever guys do we want? Cheap. So the other half of this deck is going to have cheap infantry. It's going to be a combo, I think, of, like, speed bump mech infantry. Like, max out stingers, absolutely. And combine that with, like, Rangers Stinger, I think. Or Rangers Jav, but all my Stingers are over here, so I think I need to have Rangers Stinger. The issue then is that my line holding force doesn't have any ATGM. But I guess I can bring some AMPVs to fill that role a bit. The infantry is for Bradley's. No, I don't want to be a push deck because that takes too much attention. I want to be a static line hold deck and focus my attention on the Arty and Recon game. Otherwise, yes. Pure theory deck building, yes, you would like then do Bradley's and stuff. But I'm trying to think of my mental focus, what I'm going to be able to accomplish. Like, max out on the very cheap speed bump mech rifles. Max out on Mech AA, max out on Ranger's Stinger, and this is just my force that I hold the town with, right? So that's like... Gee, that's 5 for 250, isn't it? Fucking hell. So that's 300 cost. Let's say we spend like 1,000 points at most on holding a zone with these cheap fuckers. So that's like 300. 160, 320, so that's 620. 65 times 4. Remember the number 620. Type it in chat for me. Because then we're adding on 130, 260 plus 620. What did I say? 260? So it's 80... 8,800. Right? No, 880. Yeah, 880. All total. Ranger Stinger instead of Javelin? Yeah, because I've got no shard otherwise. And you could send the Rose as well and make them fight when they're getting close. So you're defending the close point. Obviously, we're not defending the long range point is the issue here. Unless we bring Bradleys. If I want to be flexible, I could bring Bradleys as well in this deck and use Bradleys as trapdoors as well. Combined with these things, the M90 1A3s. What's the cheapest Bradley you can get that's still effective? Like, no APS. And I do want the better toe. I want the modernized top attack toe. I feel like the up armor is important as well for what you get. So let's say you go to 90 there. But you don't go upgraded engine. Well, that's what always gets me the Bradleys, is they start and they're only like 70. But their upgrades are just so damn cost effective that all I ever end up cutting for a cheap Bradley is the APS. And that's like, well fuck, just add the APS. It's only 25 more. But it's 90 versus 125 here. I mean, it just feels like just go all the way with your damn Bradleys. Just go all the damn way. Why not? I could also look at this as cutting down on some superfluous foot recon here, like maybe don't even bring the Ranger snipers, and do Bradley CFEs for fast recon along my front line that can also fight. Might be smarter than all Ranger snipers and MATVs. Maybe. No snipers for targeting. We do have STTs for that. Snipers, I think, are good because of the optics and stealth combo, though. Charles says, I like the MPVs better than Bradley's, just in my opinion. So the Bradleys are better at actually killing shit as an ATGM platform than the AMPV Jav. In my experience of testing how their fire rate, the toes fire 2 at a time, which is very good. Much better at getting through APS. AMPV can't get through APS on its own. But you do lose the seats, so that is an issue. Snipers in the high-rise in the backlines wins games? Yes. Yes, it's knowing how to use those snipers. Bradley Beaver is better at scouting? Yeah, but no tow. So I'd rather just send an MATV for cheaper. Stinger, Raws. Mech rifles, 50 for 6. These guys, Rangers, are 80 for 9. If you want a bit more grunt, the Rangers standoff would be a fine speed bump squad as well. There's like a little bit less speed bump. But this is just a nice combo because you can bring the Bradleys as well if you want them. Or I bring the AMPVs instead, and then I kind of save on transport costs, because I can bring double stacks. I can bring one transport to 2 squads. For the limited engagements of town fighting, it's maybe better, but then I would also need to make sure I'm bringing these things to actually kill enemy tanks. Because otherwise, the AMPV on its own will not be a sufficient guided platform for killing APS tanks. Whereas the Bradley could do both, and you're kind of cutting costs there by not bringing everything at once. If you just bring the Bradley, you're bringing both your transport and your... It's also less complicated and less clustered. Probably bring the Bradleys. Or I bring the Radleys, and I can use the Radleys in that role inside the town. No, but I don't have trucks. I have to bring transports because I don't have any trucks. That's the problem. Otherwise, I'm going to say bring the infantry and trucks. I can bring them in helicopters, but that's not always good. I think the Bradley. And just hold of more Bradleys, because Bradleys are good units to have. You can't fall into the trap of only being infantry. Just depends about cost. Yeah, I know the AMPV is good, Barley. I love the AMPV. Nobody has to sell me the AMPV. I'm like the #1 AMPV fan. But there are things that the Bradley does that it doesn't. However, I'll probably bring a bit of both in this deck, because I'm not going to bring everybody in Bradleys. 6 is probably too many. You could probably go to 4. Especially if I go Recon Bradleys as well. See how many Recon Bradleys we can fit. Not many will be the answer. Maybe 2 if you cut some of this other shit. It's tough. It's hard out here to fit those, because you gotta bring the damn Cav Scouts too. So what else is you're throwing if you don't take Delta? I mean, possibly, but I'm not trying to play traditionally. I'm trying to play a certain kind of deck. You need 2 snipers. This is the problem with bringing the Recon Bradleys in this deck. Unless you fit the Ghost Hawk somewhere else. Which I could definitely do. Then it's not nearly as hard. Now, how much would I have to pay to get 3 of these? Too much, I think. You have to cut too much shit. So, 2 Recon Bradleys, 4 MATVs, a Sentinel drone, 2 snipers, 4 Ranger Recon. This is Recon tools for, like, every situation imaginable, I feel. This is so much Recon. Tons. Bottom says, so the concept of this deck is line-holding infantry you don't have to babysit while you can focus your micro-attention on infiltrating special forces and doing artillery. Exactly, yes. This is an artillery deck. It's an artillery time deck. The focus here is to not make the optimal, like, infantry tabs. I have other decks for that. I have very different decks for actually fighting with the infantry. The goal here is to forget about all the units but the artillery and maybe some recon backline micro. The goal is to have a good recon backline, ideally, and just shell the fuck out of them. Yeah, it's infiltration, yes. Icefire says, I hope for a second Sentinel. I think one's enough for what I'm doing with this deck. Oxen says, could you cut a Little Bird for points? Yeah, I can put Little Birds in other tabs, too. Hell, I can bring more R-subs here if it counts. I don't know if I need 3 Radleys, though. But yes, I can cut the transports from this tab. Pretty easily. And then I could fit a 3rd Radley, which would be a much better, like, force reconnaissance option for pushing in. I'd say the problem with the Recon Bradleys is they have nothing to pair with Shorad-wise. Unless... Can I fit in a single one of these? Hang on. Can I fit, like, a single linebacker? Or, I mean, in Woods, you send them with the Arsovs, I guess. But otherwise, maybe, like, a single linebacker. How hard is that to fit? Okay, that feels doable. Esque? It's doable-esque. I'm trying not to, like, trick myself into turning this into, like, an armored deck, which is not meant to be. But one of these makes 3 of these and 1 of these a reasonable little combo. Engine's got to be the same. Can you cut anywhere else of it? Not really. You don't need the radar for what you want to use this one for, actually. You could make it cheaper, because you don't need the radar for what you're planning to do with this one. But it would help. It'd add 500 extra meters to the Stinger. If you're only using one SHORAD, probably worth it, that one being really good. Is that single picture of that SHORAD doing much? Potentially. What if you go to 3 goblins? Okay, and you can go to like half busk, but your main threat is enemy rockets, so probably not a good idea. I think you just have to cut 2 goblins and just work with like very limited amounts of ground logi. Which I think is doable. Change the gun. Biggs, yeah, I know. Okay, let's try it like that. Try it like that. Now you want to bring more Arsovs and everything else in this tab. Max out on that. But who's going to bring your little birds? That's your trouble you run into now. You bring 1 less MATV. And bring 2 of them here. If you even wanted more. You could also bring another Arsov here. No Silhawks. Now, yeah, we gotta get them in this area. So I had to bring Delta even just to bring them. Delta or Rangers. I do agree that Delta is just a good force to have, but what can we fit? Now I'm low on Ghost Hawks. What is the role of Delta in a no micro sitting around defense? It would have to be like the 1 micro unit in a town defense where if the enemy pushes a bunch of infantry, you send them. Stand-up Delta? Yeah, you could do stand-up Delta too. But I think it's more like we kind of have anti-tank options here. We have the Bradleys, we have the Rangers Raws in towns if needed. I also just love CQB Delta, so any excuse to bring them really works for me. But 4 Bradleys, 4 Arsovs, 4 Arsovs. We don't have transports for the mech Stingers right now. So I might have to go to AMPVs just to, like, do better here. Even just cheap AMPVs, honestly. Like, not even done up. At 65, they're fine. Even 70 for the GLs. Can you just, like, fit 1, 2, 3, 4. You need ourselves for the recon. Manny says, I feel like a dumbass, but I'm in the test map, but I don't know how to spawn enemy units. Okay, are you in the editor? I don't know how to do it in the test map, but I can tell you to do it in the editor. If we fit Warpigs, it gets a bit awkward fitting everything into the recon tab if I do. But I can, yes, I can cut down on recon Bradleys and fit it in again. You think you are? Okay, so on the... Do you have, like, the options of, like, on the left, I think you want, like, units, new unit. If you can't figure it out, I can go back in, but, like, you want new unit, and then you have all your options. I believe it's, like, on the left menu. Just go down the options, and one of them is, like, above new object. That's where you spawn your units from. But if you go to 3 Bradleys... Okay, that's a little too many. If you go to 2 Bradleys... Again, we don't want to be too expensive in the town. And then you can go to 4 MPVs, which carries all your mech rifles and all your Rangers Stingers. You know, with mech rifles, I could go Rangers Javelin as well. But they're not really going to hold a town of low micro on their own. But it is an option. I do have a ton of Stinger troops here. Tons. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. I could go Rangers Jav. You just have to cut some shit then to fit it all. Maybe even cut a Rangers Jav. But if you go to 1 Delta with 1 Silent Hawk here, now you can have Rangers Jav. So they're more expensive, but you're getting ATGMs natively in your town. Rangers Jav, mech rifle, mech rifle. Okay. Like, this is a force that can hold the town, or at least for a while be annoying. And then we go back to the recon tab. I need to add, like, I need to cut some shit now because I want to get those extra Ghost Hawks. We have the little bird, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. You don't think you're the right thing? So up here, you want to come back to the main menu, Bounty Rabbit, and click on the editor, and then create scenario. If you haven't done this, you're not in the right place. Come here, create scenario. Just fill this stuff out, and then go. Don't go play scenario, go edit scenario. Don't play, go edit. And then you'll get the options I had. Let's bring, like, I probably don't need 4, but I want to try it. Let's bring, like, 3, 2? Bring 2 Ghost Hawks. Yeah, we can fit that. And that kind of works, right? Because then I can bring more Arsovs as well. Thanks, dude. No, no worries, no worries. I can bring an extra Ghost Hawk. Or can I bring 2 Arsovs? Yes, I can bring 2 more Arsovs as well if I really want to spam them. Because then I could even use some Arsovs to transport my town defenders. That gives me 3 Ghost Hawks, 2 Snipers, 4 MATVs, Recon Sentinel, 2 Radleys. This is a very flexible tab. I can add more shit easily. That is Arsovs. Okay, so I have 8 Arsovs, right? In this tab. 4 and 4. I have no transports for you fuckers. I mean, now that I have Ranger's Javelin, maybe I do have to go... MPV, I don't know. Balancing these 2 costs is, like, the slowest thing here. I think I need more MPVs. What if instead... Put the AMPVs on the mech rifles because we can get more of them. You bring the 2 Bradleys if we're bringing any. Okay, now we can get 5. 6 would be good. I had to bring them all at once, either. Any tips on how to keep drone alive? You just gotta stay away from the front line and do seed and anti-air if you wanna... But it depends on the drone. I don't know, I can't keep them alive either. I generally just send them in to get info and then die. Okay, I think we need to get to 2500 to get this last bit. Which I can test. 2510. 2585. Okay, we need to cut more. Could cut one of the Arsovs, seeing as if I'm not using it for that. Okay. 6 AMPVs carries 12 6-man squads. So that only leaves you with 6 squads left without transports if you have 6 of these. 4, 8. 12 squads, I said. But that doesn't count recon. So let's say 6 of these Arsovs are for these squads, or you're just not bringing them all at once. Like, I don't really need as many transports. This will be fine, because I don't need to bring them in all at once. So this is actually fine. Yeah, it's indirect fire practice day, that's right. This is enough transports. I don't need to bring all these guys in at once. It's totally fine. This is a fine tab. I just need to drop like 1 Arsov. Oh, apparently 2. That's kind of annoying. Maybe drop like 1 AMPV then. This is enough transports. 1 Silent gives you little. I have 3 because I have 2 in the recon tab. Okay. I have 3 Ghost Hawks, 4 Little Birds. So many Arsovs. I have enough transports. I forgot that I don't need to bring all this in at once. I'm not pushing, I'm defending. I think this is done then. All I need to do is finish my vehicle tab. And if I've got the points, it would probably be smart to bring 1 good trophy to work with the Bradleys if I want to. And then what else? Very free, whatever else I want to bring here. Got the achievement yet for spending 10 hours in the loadout menu? I don't know, probably. You can't fit a second one. You can almost, if you cut 35 somewhere, fit a second basic SEP. Might be the way to go. Cut 35 somewhere else. Or you bring an assault breacher, but fuck that, that's micro heavy. Using these tanks is like the last resort of this deck. Like, if I'm using these tanks, it means that I've completely fallen flat on my face, failed to do anything in my artillery plan, which was the whole plan, and I need to just do something to not feel like a complete fucking moron, and that's when we're just gonna fall back to, like, Seps and Bradley's and a Shorad, I guess. But that's like the disaster scenario where I've just completely fucked up, and I need to, like, try not to throw phase 3. Hopefully we don't have that happen, but, you know, that's a hopefully. That's a big hope. Big hope, big hope. So, I need to cut 50 or 60, so probably, like, cut 1 Arsov. And then we're done. You can also get 1 METV, but I do want to spam these things. So probably just cut an Arsov again. I think you'll still have more than enough in the end in practice. And you got 15 points spare, but we don't have anything to spend it on, so you're kind of done. There's, like, nothing more I can add for that price. I really actually wanted to add the Larry CM right at the end here, but I had to cut 10 more from somewhere. So if I ever want to use this for, like, rollouts, I'd want this. Give the Patriot the useless armor upgrade? Yes, I could do. Could give it the useless armor upgrade. I could put grenade launchers on my goblins. No, 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 no. I can upgrade the engine on the Shorad if it's... Yeah, okay, do that. That works. Can use all 8 Toe 901s. I mean, yeah, I could have just cut some of them, true. That's a good point. Like, probably not. But I'm ready to fucking play this, hey? I've sat around for ages. Let's try this. Now, I am gonna fuck up playing this deck. I know I said it a lot, but I'm gonna fuck up playing this deck here. Because the idea is to focus artillery, and I have such little experience of that so far. But I'm gonna try. Gotta remember that my tools here are... I have 2 classic F-35s. I have 2 cruise missile Nighthawks. I have HE Rocket Arty. I have Paladins. And I have lots of Recon. And the goal is to win the Recon War, but even if I can't do that, I can still hopefully be, like, baseline useful using the artillery. So I am sorry that I'm probably going to fail a few times with this and look really dumb and overwhelmed, but I want to gain experience with this style, and let's see how it works. Let's see how we go. It's going to be very tempting to me as well when I inevitably fail at this to switch to playing a more traditional style. I'm gonna try to stick to the artillery idea, but I know what's going to happen is I'm going to get into a match and my teammates will be playing artillery and I'll be like, oh fuck guys, I better play the rest of this deck. But even in that case, then maybe if I don't focus the artillery as hard, I just focus on holding a zone with the infantry and then pushing recon up and being aggressive. Okay, any map, right? Any map? Do we get airport? Tamas is best way to get backline at recon is in search during the start. Yeah. Biggest change from this deck from my other decks is I have 0 air attacks. I don't usually do Helo Rush recon strats, so I don't really know what to expect here. But I feel like what I should do is take my first 1,000 points, spam as many cheap recon insertion plans as possible, and expect like 80% of them to die. But if like 2 or 3 get in, it's a win. Aldrich says drain. Don't. Recon already infiltrate. No frontline. Yeah, I can give the Patriot for early air attacks too. Alright, I'm gonna suck. I'm so sorry, but let's try and get good at this style. I think it can work. I think we can be useful if we do it right. Worst case, in Phase 2 or Phase 3, I do a bit more traditional play. So let's put out an early Patriot to try and help. On dead center, okay. Early Patriot. Where do I want to put recon on dead center? We want to stay away from their helo and air spawns, so like... I guess here. And here, ideally, is the start. Here. No, wait, they're going to drive along that road, so I got to be careful. Like it says, backline harassment seems like an underexplored strat so far anyway, it's very learning time. Yeah, the problem with doing the backline harassment plan is it's so easy to fall flat on your face and just fuck up and do nothing with it. But, as said, gotta learn sometime. Immediate Patriot. And now, I've never done this before, how am I gonna do this? I don't even need to do, you don't even really need to do helos here, but I will lead with helos. Do I do cheap little birds or ghost hawks to defend against enemy jets? Ghost hawks aren't that much more, and probably more likely to just not get spotted. But I think you only put one squad in each helicopter, because otherwise, you know, it's gonna be a bad time. Where do I want to be? If they're gonna come down here. Let's focus on the right side, I think. Maybe don't over-invest in the helos here, just start with a few, and then also send some, like, recon jeeps and shit.
Copy. Relocating.
I'm only doing one side right now, let me start slow,
Anti-aircraft standing by. Night Stalkers ready. New heading set.
Let's get away from the jets, no reason to sit on them.
Reporting in. Copy. We RTB.
Cool, blow all that up.
Reporting in.
We do a good night, streamer, thank you!
Maximum power.
I hope you are too. I just started my first match, so we'll see what kind of night I'm about to have. Where do I deploy? Probably in these woods is one of the best spots to start with.
Deploying troops. Boots on the ground.
I should have sent a regular DAP to bring in the ourselves. I can send a Chinook, it's not too late. Not a DAP, a Blackhawk, sorry. They're pretty close already though, I could just like drive there too. Most likely.
They won't hear us coming.
The funny thing is, if they don't push this at all, by the time I get
Reconnaissance.
moving on foot, the ourselves will have caught up. So on a map this close, you probably just start ourselves and you don't even worry about the rest of the shit.
Aircraft here. At your command. The Night
Oh dear.
Stalkers are in the air.
Well, I mean, nobody expects Striker Shorad right there, do they? Nobody expects radar on the Striker Shorad down that road. I will now, because they were coming for C point. I see the mistake I made. Get in the woods.
On the move. Rangers are our
We'll get
chief
together.
command, sir.
And what do we want to do?
Speed is of the
I've got to also, like, do this all new thinking about, like, where I even want to place my motherfuckers. I think while I'm worrying about that, let's bring more ourselves.
move to contact.
Just, like, flood the woods with ourselves Rangers Recon here, and I can reposition. And I've lost my stingers now, so that's dangerous if you bring them in first. Bring in more of them.
Already there. Recon vehicle ready for action. Pedal to the metal.
Let's get you over to here.
DJ's here. Standing
I'll
by.
keep going to the STTs. Just need to put you on hold fire, you'll reveal yourselves really easy. Were they coming down this road? I fucking hope not. Well, just because I think you have to be okay not rushing into, like, getting out to the border and... Ah!
Standing by.
And keeping some reserve to infiltrate off the beaten path is good. Yeah, also I forgot that my whole point was to not just do this dumb shit, but also start with some defenses on a point. So this is already more recon than I should have committed, I just realized.
Recon vehicle.
I
Send
just
traffic.
realized.
Roger. Moving to next waypoint. Reconnaissance is good to go. Moving out. Inbound. Roger that. Strike area confirmed. Your eyes and ears.
Keep eyes on them, yeah.
Going for effect.
Go back there, we lost sight.
Joint strike fighter at your command.
Finds
sir.
them! Finds them!
Joint strike fighter at your command.
Hold on, where do they go? Hold the strike. Hold the strike, we don't know where they are for sure.
Map of the Earth
Oh, they can
flight.
see us, fuck. What the hell?
New course set.
Maybe the harm is giving me away.
Flight plan updated.
Damn, where the fuck did these fuckers go?
Someone call for
Okay, yeah.
Solid copy. Air support mission inbound. Time to bug out. Below the hard deck.
Got one, but not both, sadly.
You'd be blind without us.
Oh, we see a Patriot too.
Recon Rangers
I should
lead the
get
way.
you guys over here.
Turning to new heading.
What did I lose? I didn't lose the
Good
F-35.
copy. Next waypoint received.
Roger, flying there.
Recon Company reporting in.
New bearing set. Airstrike is go for effect.
I'm gonna hold the harm and see if it helps
Air
here.
Force is on the ground.
Stealth jet here. Copy.
Oh
Bugging
god.
out.
Oh fuck. I think I got the bomb away there.
Who called the Guardian Angel?
Okay, here comes the drone. Because they know.
Guardian Angel.
Recon vehicle standing by. Roger. We're on the move.
Smoke.
Recon vehicle is good to go.
Oh. Oh! My fucking SCT's gonna lose to that Predator. Ooh, we barely got away with it.
Charlie Mike.
Reconnaissance. Ready for action.
Damn, Predators of the Hellfires hurt. Scary.
Recon Rangers at your orders.
Okay.
Go, go, go!
Now they're in here with
Marching keeps us
Recon.
fit.
Recon Striker. So at this point, I haven't got enough here, and that's gonna like fall apart, I think.
Someone asked for a ride? Recon vehicle. Send
Okay,
traffic.
why am I chasing them?
Over.
Make them come to me.
Afraid of the distance.
Recon vehicle.
At this point,
ready for action.
let's send in these guys,
Recon vehicle is good to go.
like, over to here, but then I need to come and take this point, because I've kind of fucked
Moving
up.
there now.
I need to get my our whole point of this deck in, which was holding areas, which I said I'd do and then, you know, inevitably didn't do. So, that's alright. Like I said, I'm still kind of getting used to what to do here. Let's bring in, like, that, and that,
Roger. We're on
and
the
that, and that. And supplies.
line. Moving there now.
We have eyes on again.
Roger. Moving to next waypoint. Got him. Fire only when fired upon.
Sweeping the area. Rangers
Okay.
RC at your command, sir. Like a walk in the park. Recon Rangers in
Fuck, I thought I could get away with them, but because it's recon, I should have just fired.
Recon
And it's got the APS. That one fucker's gonna kill everyone, unfortunately.
Night to the sun.
I should have just fired at the AT-4s, but I thought I could get away. Okay, so that's pretty much failed at this point.
Recon vehicle.
That's like a
standing
failed
by.
scenario.
Roger. We're on the move.
I need to make sure I take the C point. I need to get my arty up too. Immediately seen a lot of things I should have done better here.
Marching keeps us fit.
But you live and learn, don't ya?
Your eyes and ears, sir. Reconnaissance is good to go.
You have to live and learn.
Rendezvous with exfil team.
You'd be blind without us.
En route to
Sit in the
target
smoke.
location.
This was my Patriot.
On target location.
To not sure what. Let's focus on taking the C point next.
Special reconnaissance here.
Kill these drones. That's why I said it won't work. Okay, hang on, buddy. Hold on. That's fine. Everyone can have their opinions. I just want to try it before we write it off.
Already there.
I think there's a big difference between a strategy won't work and a strategy is being done badly. Let's try and do the strategy good before we say it won't work. It's going to take me a bunch of games. Oh, because it seems like he's needed a cheap slammer or something.
Who called the Guardian Angel?
Yeah, or just use my SCTs better, see?
Airmen on the ground.
Armored transport. Standing by.
Recon Rangers in combat. Awaiting.
Okay, so I'm just going to let them fight, but they're going to get killed there. But if I just let them fight the first time, I think we would have beat that. So Striker Javelin Trophy is like a uniquely scary thing to face there as the Wood Scroller. I would have needed Maws there to stop that. Also just not being spotted in the first place. This all starts because I bring in Ghost Hawk there and it gets spotted. So let's focus on taking the C point for now.
Next waypoint.
And... wow, that's gonna be a good nuke. Holy shit, they just... oh no. At least it's phase 1. Jesus Christ. And we have no AA apart from my Patriot that died. Oh. And we... oh, and 2 people just left, really? Alright. Well, let's focus on taking the C point right now.
Troop transport. Standing by.
But that's no good.
Roger. Moving out.
I think this side they're going to be really aware of recon. So at this point, just come back, because I can just recon through here instead. 3? Really? 3 people?
Moving out.
4? Oh man, really? I mean, I'm gonna at least play out the rest of this phase.
Someone call for a cab?
I can't even type to be like, well, GG.
Weapons team at your orders.
God, people need to toughen up a bit when it comes to this game, don't they?
Welcome to the missile
Goodness.
range, choppers.
Fucking gracious.
I want a base of fire in that building.
Good copy. Next
People
waypoint
need to
received.
toughen the fuck up a bit with this game. They really do.
Copy. Relocating.
Stinger team standing by. Regroup and move up.
It's only phase 1.
Oscar Mike.
Anti-aircraft team is under fire.
Well, calling on Gimlers, I guess. Calling both my Gimlers.
Artillery on the move. Proceeding to the next base of fire. Copy. Relocating.
Ranger's Javelin, no.
Artillery relocating.
Yes, 1200 income, yeah.
Pedal to the metal.
What's there, Nat, like, do you think? Hang on. Actually, let me see. If I try to cruise missile these guys, does it work?
Proceeding
They're like nuking again, too.
Changing course.
Bringing those Comanches.
Personal carrier here. Pedal to the metal. Armored transport reporting in. Keep driving.
Okay, currently cruise missile that.
Everything by the
I'm sure, do you want to kill a B2 Spirit? I think they're just waiting for me to spawn stuff right now.
command.
Comanches and M2 Shorad! Kill the B2!
We got a clear shot.
They're doing a recon of a B2 right now.
Nighthawk ready.
I don't think it's just stop, but they're just gonna go all the way to my spawn, I think.
Recon vehicle standing by.
Comanche, standing by.
Target marked. Direct fire.
Where's that?
Let's reduce them to scrap.
We're done already.
New heading set.
Oh, yeah.
Fence here.
Bradley, sure, I get it.
Coordinates received. Life path updated.
SCTs!
Who needs a guardian angel?
Come on! No! Fuck! Got out of range.
Comanche, standing by.
No!
Rocket artillery ready.
Motherfucker.
Departing. MLRS ready. Send fire mission. Relocating to the next emplacement.
Send target.
Bibble says, Jesus loves you, have a wonderful day. I don't know Jesus, bro, but thank you.
Comanche at your command.
Oh, I didn't realize they sent the Comanches over here. Let's go.
New flight path set. Heading there now. Comanche.
Comanche Gaming. Why isn't the Shroud killing me?
Comanche at your command.
Nobody knows.
Copy. Egressing.
Reconnaissance. Ready for action. Rocket artillery engaged.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do any artillery because they're just gonna do this. I'm just gonna wait till the first phase is over, then go next. I just didn't want to look like I was leaving with the other 4 because pride.
By.
Comanche here.
Fuck you, Delta Force.
Hot and ready. Nighthawk copies.
That's it for today. Let's go back to base. Bradley fighting vehicle at your command, sir. Artillery at your command, sir.
Kegs time.
Get your asses out of my vehicle. Mission is over. We RTB.
Heading back for debrief.
Rude dudes. Due to some rude dudes out here.
Double time.
No, not a little birds, just fucking spawn them. Just straight up spawn STC, bro. That's right, I'm gonna get the B-52 with my Shorad. Yeah!
Return to base.
Air rescue here.
Well, you guys gotta get out.
Flying to coordinates.
Oh, I have to leave because they can just sudden death me. I forgot.
For you. Bradley, engage in combat.
The killer egg is in the air. Flight plan updated. Killer egg standing by. Killer egg awaiting mission.
Killer egg, let us feast. Let us find some trophies to kill or something.
Flight plan confirmed.
Hellfire eggs. Yeah, it's not just for World of Warcraft anymore.
AH-6 killer egg here.
Artillery moving out. MLRS reporting in. Artillery moving
No!
over. Heading back to FOB.
Full power.
No, a single F-16!
Flying the coordinates.
No!
Proceeding as frag. Nose up. Roger, flying there.
I got a gun. I can take him on.
New course set. Engaging afterburner.
Yeah, look at him run.
New bearing set.
Look at him fucking run.
Changing course. Flight plan updated. Tally ho!
Can you lace helicopters anymore? No, I think they took that out. Oh shit!
Turning to new.
Ah! Ah!
The Air Force is on the ground.
You're just patting my KD. Oh my god. Venture says, Beagle, if so many points, spend them. Venture, shut up! Shut up, Brenchar! Alright, well, on to the next one. So my highest KD? Because I didn't get nuked, and I stuck it out for 10 minutes to pad my KD. Yeah, the best thing you can do against being nuked is not put 3,000 points worth of army in a single, like, kilometer-wide area. The second best thing you can do when being nuked is not all rage quit after getting nuked in phase 1. Stratus says, how are you ever supposed to win with a 1v5 no increased spawn timers? Well, I mean, you're not. It's just meant to help you a little bit. You're not meant to win a 1v5, no matter what. If you ask them to balance the game so that if all your team leaves and you can win a 1v5, then the game makes no sense. Because then people would, like, intentionally leave games when they're losing to get an advantage or something. It would become like, oh, our fifth teammate is bad, and then just, like, telling them you should leave so that we can get your points instead. Like, it's meant to help you out. There's meant to be rubber banding to help you out if someone leaves. But it's not meant to be what the game's designed around. It's just meant to be like a, and here you go. Anyway, we got to learn about the rollout at least, which is, don't roll out so heavy. Remember to actually put shit on a point with my rollout. Put infantry on a point. Don't roll out with so much recon at first. Bring 2 STTs for drones, and then probably like 2 Rangers recon. Or like a Rangers recon and a Rangers Moors. And that's like it. You could fit that in 2 Ghost Hawks, but then if the Ghost Hawks get shot down, you lose everything. Mainly Russian decks? Nah. Yeah, it was a good learning experience for the nuke. It was. If anything, I should be grateful, because I got to learn very quickly what was very wrong with my rollout, and I didn't have to play out the rest of the match. So really, I'm winning. Really, that was the best outcome. When I watched the one player leave after getting nuked, I was like, I mean, that figures. But then when they just kept leaving, that was kind of darkly funny, too. Here's how Beagle can still win. Loden Taylor says, I'm bleeding, making me the victor. That's right. Haha, you thought this was my real head? But yeah, let's think in advance. Okay, the rollout is Ground Patriot for air tax evasion. It's like air tax collection. If you roll out Ground Patriot, you're a tax collector. So air tax collection Patriot. Don't spend my whole budget on recon immediately. Bring in like a balanced rollout. Library of Penguin. You're breathtaking. Wow.